Hello, welcome to Late Night Creations. I'm Kendra and I'm really glad you're here. If this is your first time, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, then welcome back. Today I have in this video for you 3 decor pieces that I think turned out really cute. And I think they could be not just for Easter, I think that they could be used in your everyday decor, kind of depending on what your decor is like. Let's get on with the video. Okay, DIY number 1. Got this little removable tile decal from Dollar Tree. Got this cross at Hobby Lobby, of course, when it was half price. So each cross in this package is only 41 cents each. What a great buy. And of course, this little sign came from Dollar Tree. And this ribbon, I'm not sure where it came from. It's scrap. So I'm going to give this a good coat of black Waverly chalk paint. I think it's called ink, actually. Just all down the sides, all across the front. Get a good coat all over it. And then we're going to work on the cross. And I give it a good coat, front, back, and not back, I'm sorry. The front and the sides. The back's not going to show. We're just going to get those sides and the front and all down in the word hope and all around in there. I don't show you all that tedious little work, but you know how to paint. And now I'm going to dry brush the edges of the frame. Did I skip the whole footage of putting the tile on? Okay, well, it's a sticky tile and you just stick the tile on. Wow. Okay, I must have accidentally deleted it. Sorry about that. Well, it's a sticky tile and you just stick it on. And here I'm just dry brushing with this gray chalk paint around the edges. I mean, if you don't like it, don't do it. If you like a lot, do a lot. I love to dry brush. In case you haven't noticed on any of my videos, if you've ever watched a video, you will notice that I love to dry brush. I love that look. I've done it for years. We used to whitewash back in the 90s. I'm going to date myself now. Okay, so I don't really like how this is looking. I'm trying to get it pretty heavy on there, and I think I really wanted it lighter, so I go in with some white, and I like how it looks a whole lot better. But I really think that layering it with the gray and the white really probably achieved the look that I wanted because, it's all about layers and dimension and all that. So on the word hope, I ended up using a smaller chippy brush, and it was just an old stiff brush that I had, and it was kind of worn out, and I just went over it and over it till I got it as light as I wanted, and I really wasn't doing it too dry. And anyway, I got it pretty white, but I just did it till I liked how it looked. Then I like to take an old piece of t-shirt and just buff it, and it makes a nice smooth finish. I'm going to take this little plaid, buffalo check, whatever you want to call it, ribbon, tie it in the middle with a little piece of twine. I make bows in all different kinds of ways, but depends on the look I want, and I kind of wanted to bring a little bit of rustic into this. Not really rustic, but it does have the buffalo check anyway. So I'm just going to get that bow how I like it. I'm going to glue it to the top of this cross to kind of cover up that hole, but add a little sweetness to it. And looky here. And here we go with DIY number 2. I'm going to take this little cross I got in a pack from Hobby Lobby. Sorry about that. And I'm just going to trace it on the back side of the scrapbook paper and cut it out. I chose this scrapbook paper because I like it. You choose whatever you like. Cut it out. Make sure it's going to fit. And then I put it with my paper, and I'm checking to see if I think the sides need to be painted. And yes, I do. And for some reason, I paint the entire cross. No idea what. Well, was thinking, the rhyme or reason behind it, but I painted the whole thing, front and back. I'm not sure why I picked up the paper at that point either, but then I take that same gray elephant by Waverly, and I distress the edges of my frame. And I really didn't want it heavily distressed, but I did want to put a little bit of some dimension in there, some character, just so it's not such a stark white finish. And then I do the front, just the edges to give it a little bit, you want to see where the edges stop and start. And then I use just a glue stick, just a regular old school glue stick, getting all the way out to the edges so that paper will stick nice and good all the way out to the edges. And then I'm just going to get my little squeegee and squeeze that glue all the way around. Use my X-Acto knife to make the edges nice and crisp. You can use the sandpaper method if you want. I didn't really want to do that with this project. I do use that method sometimes. Now I'm going to cut my scrapbook paper to size, glue it down in the middle, put a little piece of twine on my cross, hang it from the top of the frame, put a little twine bow on the top, and we are done with this project. I think it is super cute. I love it. I would love for you to let me know in the comments below if you would use these DIYs for everyday decor, or if you think they are strictly for Easter. DIY number 3, and probably my favorite. Okay, so that came in a long garland from Hobby Lobby I got on half price, and I'm just cutting some pieces off to use. This cross came from Hobby Lobby in a pack. It cost me 66 cents each, and I'm just going to give it a coat of this, it's by Folk Art, and it's antique glaze, antique wax. You use a baby wipe to wipe it off until it gets good and covered however much you want. And I'm going to use this pretty green, not even sure what the color is, Italian sage maybe, and color my heart green. And then I'm going to start putting my greenery on my wreath. I think this is probably my favorite DIY of these 3, maybe because I really stink at greenery and floral arranging, but I think this one turned out cute. So there you go. I just kept poking it in there and gluing it down until I got it to where I thought it looked good. And as long as you think it looks good, then that's all that matters, right? I do love this one though, because in the end, I put that decal on the heart that said, "He is risen." And that is really why we celebrate Easter, because he is risen. He did not stay on the cross. That's the celebration. It was sad that he had to go on the cross for us. I'm glad he did, but the joy is that he didn't stay dead. Okay, so now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to hang this cross on the wreath, because I want it to dangle in the middle. So I decide that I'll just unhook one side and glue it back down. And guess what? I didn't like it. Just wait for it, see what happens. Yep. Decide to rip it off. Sometimes that happens 2 or 3 times in projects over here, but I decide that I'm going to tie that string to the wreath and then glue it to the cross. And this works much better. So I glue it down and I put that other little piece of fabric on top. This is just some of that canvas drop cloth I cut into little pieces, and that secures that hanger on the back a little more. My little "He is Risen" decal, I cut this on my Solo Starcraft machine.